We start here. Ekurhuleni Metro is in need of a new mayor after the AIC Sivuyile Ngodwana was removed from that position in a no confidence motion, I beg your pardon. A council meeting was postponed last week, raising concerns about the municipality being placed under administration. The Gauteng Cooperative Governance MEC has warned of the dangers if the municipality is in fact placed under administration. Let's get you the latest. Mbalenhle Mthethwa is our reporter inside Chambers, and she joins us now live. My understanding, Mbali, is that we're meant to have started by now. What's the holdup?
The holdup is it's an hour of waiting. Officially, council was meant to begin at 10 a.m. this morning. However, it has not started. And I'm going to step out of the shot just to show you what is happening inside council. Now, you will see that the DA caucus is in council, as well as the ActionSA block. They are here, and a few other members of the council here from other parties are present in council. But if you look at the ANC and the EFF bloc and the few minority parties that form part of that government, they are all not inside council. Now, this brings the question as to what exactly is happening, begs the question rather, as to what exactly is happening. Are they stuck in meetings trying to find out who will replace Sivuyile Ngodwana? If they will heed to the demands made by the ANC that the party with the majority seats should be given the opportunity to make government and to field a candidate for the mayoral position, as well as make up most of the members of the mayoral committee. Now, those are the demands that they have made, and we know that the EFF is also playing hardball in this instance, also just making sure that they are able to secure a few seats, or rather a few positions in the composition of the mayoral committees. I'm going to step aside here and bring in ActionSA's Sianda Makubo to speak to us. What do you make of the delay that we're seeing here in council?
It's rather unfortunate. I mean, this council meeting would be the third council meeting that we're attempting to elect an executive mayor. I mean, this follows the illegal postponement by what we call the delinquent EFF speaker, Councillor Chivenga's illegal postponement of council last week. We have seen the EFF trying to trade with the ANC, as well as the minority parties in council. This is desperation from the economic freedom fighters, and the motion removing Mayor Sivuyile Ngodwana was largely because we were removing a puppet mayor controlled largely by the EFF. And this is the last kicks of a dying horse by the EFF in council. We know that the ANC will be fielding a candidate today. We know that the minority parties in council would also have an appetite of fielding a candidate today. And ActionSA will not be fielding a candidate. And this follows after our negotiations and consultations with other political parties who share the same values and the same vision for taking Ekurhuleni forward. It was very clear that ActionSA will not garner enough votes to get that candidate through.
And what will you do? I mean, we've seen the Democratic Alliance abstaining from many of the votes that have happened inside here in council. The first was the motion of no confidence in the mayor, as well as the motion of no confidence in the speaker. Will you also participate, or will you withdraw your participation from this vote?
We have a clear mandate from residents as voted in 2021, and we took our oath of office coming into council to be public representatives. What we have been seeing from the Democratic Alliance is sabotaging that mandate that they would have received from their residents. The Democratic Alliance is living in a virtual world. They are playing Popeye politics. They are basically abstaining from their responsibilities of council. And that is very questionable, especially to DA voters, because the DA holds 65 seats in council. There is significant block in council, and it's quite clear that in whatever way or fashion that the DA votes, they do have an influential decision in some of those votes. So we are calling out the DA for some of the decisions that they've been trying to put through to council. Look, the DA is calling for the dissolution of council. You would need 66% to pass that in council, so that's a 2/3 majority. It's very clear there is no path for the DA to get that, and we're calling out the DA for neglecting their role and responsibility of being public representatives in this council.
Okay. how will you be voting? We've heard senior members of ActionSA saying that they will never work with the ANC. And I don't know how you feel about having a relationship with the EFF. Is there a candidate that you feel you would rather support that should, both the ANC and the EFF field a candidate of their own?
Well, ActionSA has proclaimed its position on the ANC. We maintain that the problems of South Africa emanate from ANC and that you cannot work with a problem to bring the solutions of fixing South Africa or Ekurhuleni for that matter. That proclamation now extends to the EFF, who have been largely responsible for the financial mismanagement of the city, the mismanagement of the entire organization of Ekurhuleni. So the EFF and the ANC cannot be parties that ActionSA will be looking to support. If there is a candidate that emanates from minority parties or from any other party, ActionSA will scrutinize that candidate, because what we need now, we don't need a puppet mayor such as Sivuyile Ngodwana. We need a competent, skilled, qualified person to come through and occupy the executive mayor role. Because the city of Ekurhuleni uses the executive system. That person then, deploys the executive powers onto the MMC. So we're looking for someone who would bring those skills onto the table.
Now, there has been a huge complaint from many parties complaining that the relationship between the ANC has seen parties with one seat parties in council becoming mayors and so on. And those mayors have gone on to be called names such as proxy mayors, Blompot mayor, puppet mayor, as you have put it. Wouldn't that be the same thing, or maintaining the status quo that you have, or other parties, including the ActionSA, has criticized in the past, that you cannot have a one-seat party becoming mayor?
Look, all councillors who are elected into council have a mandate to represent residents. So it's twofold. What we saw in Ekurhuleni, and which is true for Johannesburg, is that we had obscure parties who do not have a clear mandate to lead the city. But what we're also saying as ActionSA is that you can have a candidate from a minority party that can bring the right skills, that can bring the right qualifications and competency to lead a dynamic city such as the city of Ekurhuleni. We have those people who are in council currently right now, and they come from those minority parties.
This is a huge change of heart. I mean, I think we have only heard nothing but criticisms of these decisions, and the fact that the people of South Africa or the residents did not vote for those particular parties, and this is why they only have one seat in council. I mean, I've spoken to Michael Beaumont when the mayor of the city of Johannesburg was elected, and he was also unhappy with the decision, saying that ActionSA should also be given an opportunity to field its own candidate as the third biggest party there.
Yeah, like I say, it's twofold. It is true that small minority parties, because there's a difference between a minority party in council and a small minority party in council. For instance, the IFP is considered as a minority party in this council because they only have 3 seats. But you can't obviously regard them as a small minority party in the scheme of things at a national level. So parties such as the IFP in council, the ACDP, for instance, the FF Plus, are considered minority parties in council. But also, the very same parties are parties that have a responsibility to residents. They have a track record in governance, they have a track record in representation in legislatures, and track record in parliament. But then you get parties such as the AIC, which are largely regional parties, which is where the former mayor emanates from. They do not have a clear mandate in the city of Ekurhuleni, and it was very clear that he was a compromised mayor. I mean, this is public knowledge and public record that he was a compromised mayor, both from the ANC and the EFF, where they could not find common ground. So in that element, we are calling for a candidate emanating from one of the minority parties, not a small minority party in council, to lead us, and ActionSA will back up that candidate.
Are you not concerned that this could be another, supporting a small minority party candidate is also just adding to the problem, because you're saying that the reason ActionSA brought this motion was because there was a puppet mayor that had its strings being pulled by EFF members. Are you not concerned that the same might happen if someone who did not get a clear mandate ascends to the mayoral position yet again?
Look, the first protocol of getting a mandate from an executive mayor should be council itself. And what we saw from this executive mayor was that he was not deriving his mandate from council. He was deriving his mandate from a political party. And that's what compromised the former mayor. And added to that, we now know that the EFF is not equipped to govern, that the EFF is chaotic in government, that the EFF is unable to put forward the interests of residents. And that is why this council must be resolute and isolate the EFF from any shape, form of governing within council and within the executive of the city of Ekurhuleni.
Thank you so much. That is Sianda Makubo, who is ActionSA caucus leader here in the city of Ekurhuleni, speaking on what he thinks we can anticipate to unfold here in the city of Ekurhuleni Council chambers. It's back to you in studio.
All right, Mbalenhle and Mthethwa, thanks very much indeed for that. Plenty taking place. Also an instance of hurry up and wait. We'll certainly wait with you as those proceedings hopefully get underway sooner than later. Mbalenhle Mthethwa, live to us from the Ekurhuleni chamber in that particular metro.